This is Andi Purewal, Boxing Social in association with Betfred. We're in Las Vegas and I'm joined by a very happy Bill Haney. Bill, it's always a pleasure to see you. How are things going?
Thank you, man. Shout out to Betfred and everybody in the UK, man. Thank you for coming down to Devin's workout.
Appreciate you giving up some time for us today, Bill. Obviously, massive fight for your son. Challenges for those undisputed belts on June 4th. June 5th rather. Just talk to me about kind of how this feels for you as a father to see your son contesting such a huge honour within the sport.
Well, like I've described on many occasions, this is the Super Bowl of the lightweight division, and no matter if you were a fan of the Rams or a fan of the Bengals, right, or you were a fan of the Patriots or the Raiders, Devin Haney and George Kambosos are going to meet on June 4th for all the belts. It's been 15 years in the making, and we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to going down to Australia and putting on a great performance and hopefully turning some Australians who weren't fans of Devin's into fans.
When Devin originally became WBC champion, I know you guys always spoke about chasing the titles, wanting to become undisputed. Would you ever imagine it would have been George Kambosos, the man who you'd have been fighting for the undisputed titles?
Oh, well, we've been very familiar with everyone in the lightweight division, and it's truly a Cinderella story for both me and Devin, as well as Jim and George Kambosos, who have been working their tails off to get in this position, right? And, a lot of their accomplishments has gone unrecognized. He spent a lot of time traveling abroad, coming over here and fighting, so it was only right that we come over and also challenge him for the remaining belts that he has.
I'm sure you've been studying George pre-TFEMO, but just on that fight alone, how much do you feel that you feel Devin's skill set, Devin's capabilities can capitalise and punish anything that you saw of a weakness of George from that fight?
Oh, well, you never can go in it expecting the same George Kambosos to show up. I believe and I know that his confidence, he's a 30% better fighter from what I learned about boxing with that win. So you can't actually prepare for George the way that he fought Teofimo. What we can do is sharpen our tools that's in the toolbox and make the adjustments needed to ultimately defeat George Kambosos.
So how do you actually anticipate the fight playing out when the pair of them are in the ring, Bill?
It's going to definitely be a chess match. I think that George Kambosos is a boxer. I don't believe that he's a puncher, in the sense of the same way that the Teofimo Lopez is. I think it'll be a chess match, and like I said, we'll have every tool sharp in Devin's toolbox, and in order to come out and make the adjustments and win the fight.
I asked Devin this question, and I'll put it to you as well. He's not concerned about if the scoring was to go to the cards. What's your thoughts? Do you have any concerns if a decision was needed and the scorecards didn't read favourably for you guys? If you felt you'd done enough to win?
Well, I mean, like I say, I want to say a shout out to the Victorian government. You know what I mean? Who's staging the event there? Shout out to Lou DiBella, the lead promoter on it. Right? It's a true Cinderella story for them as well. It's the biggest fight for Australia, right? And to put any hanky-panky in there or to cause a shadow of a doubt in terms of their ability to stage big fights and for them to be fair, I don't believe so. I don't think that they're anticipating or calling in any kind of judges to make this fight be anything other than spectacular. I look forward to judges coming in and being complete professionals, the referee being a complete professional, no different than the fighters want to be. The fighters want to be on their A game, right? And they want it to be known that they're the best fighters in the world. Well, we expect the referees and the judges to do the same thing.
Bill, I spoke to Devin again about this, and I put it to you. How beneficial do you feel it's been for Devin to be a free agent, to make the move over, to be able to sign a deal with ESPN and Top Rank instead of signing, say, a long-term deal with Eddie and Matchroom, which might have made things more difficult, and as we saw, couldn't quite agree a deal for this fight to take place with him on a Matchroom and DAZN show?
Well, shout out to Eddie and Matchroom and DAZN, who allowed us the opportunity to work with them and not be contractually tied when a legacy-defining fight like this came in, right? I've always talked to Eddie, and Eddie said, if we can make it happen, then we'll make it happen, and if you need to go across the street, then go across the street. I think Devin, as a young fighter, dispelled any rumors that fighters have to and can't make those fights, that it's a side of the street. We wanted to erase that line and know that, the fighters are the bosses. The fighters can make the fights happen if they want to make the fight happen. It's no longer where you're hiding behind the promoter, no longer where you're hiding behind the network. If you want to make those fights happen, I think Devin is a testament, and he showed that you can do it.
But what were the sticking points behind this fight not being able to take place on the Matchroom and DAZN show, and instead obviously with Top Rank and ESPN?
Well, you would have to then ask DAZN. You'd have to ask DAZN and Eddie, and of course the lead promoter being Lou DiBella. You know what I mean? Like I say, it's a Cinderella story all around the board. Lou is the lead promoter on the event, right? And it's a resurgence for him and to be in the position that he's in. And he wasn't able to strike a deal. And he told me, and he gave me his word, that if he could not strike a deal with Eddie and Matchroom, that he would then, or for that matter, he couldn't strike a deal with Top Rank and Lomachenko, that he would be giving us a call. And we were happily to take that call. Of course, Devin has a tremendous loyalty to Eddie for everything that Eddie's done. So it took a little bit of talking to both Eddie and Devin, and then I was able to make the deal happen.
Bill, provided Devin's successful, obviously the rematch will also take place in Australia. How did you guys feel about it? I know you've signed to, in the end it doesn't really matter, but would you have preferred it to have been in America if Devin had been successful in the first fight?
No, not at all. Devin being a world champion, and that's what it means being a world champion. We look forward to coming to the UK. We look forward to second fight in Australia. We look forward to gaining the respect of the Australian fans and hopefully turning them into Devin Haney fans. And this is what you do. This is the kind of things that you need to do, being a new fighter, young fighter, but also have a throwback mentality.
George, to his credit, beat Teofimo, gone straight in with Devin, was looking at the Lomachenko fight. Provided Devin's successful, does he want a similar type of path, fighting the other leading names? So, for example, after Tank fights Rolly Romero, he will be a free agent. So will you consider that fight, if something could be agreed? Ryan Garcia is obviously with Golden Boy and DAZN, with Devin's previous relationship with DAZN. Deal could be agreed there. Is the plan to try and follow him the path which Kambosos had for his own career, if you guys are successful, to challenge those other leading names?
Well, those fighters are too big, and this fight is too big. We're in the Super Bowl, and we're not going to look past George Kambosos. You know what I mean? We have a tall task, a tall order to go over and fulfill and take the belts away from George Kambosos. And you know what I mean? That's what we're concentrating on, and that's what we're focused on. 100% focused on George Kambosos.
Bill, we've also seen Ben Davison working in your camp the last few fights. Will he be involved for this one?
Oh man, I'm absolutely gutted in the simple fact that we had all intent that Ben would be coming over, just like he had for the Jorge Linares fight and the Jojo Diaz fight. So I'm absolutely gutted in the fact that he's not actually here right now. You know what I mean? So prayers go out to him and his situation, and hopefully that it'll be rectified and he'll show up in the last minute.
Right, but we'll leave that there then, and I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for your time, and thanks for speaking to me in Boxing Social.
All right, thank you, brother Fab.